Welcome to my podcast, From Divorce to Divinely Designed. I am your host, Michelle Wright, a spiritual mentor and guide for women navigating the full arc of rebuilding a life after divorce. Whether you're in the middle of the hardest chapter, opening your heart to love again, or rebuilding a blended family, you are in the right place. In this podcast, we explore how this is not happening to you, but how it is happening for you. Let's begin. Welcome to my podcast, From Divorce to Divinely Designed. And this episode is the monthly Messages for Your Soul. And today I'm focusing on July. There's even more astrology coming in. We just finished the beautiful summer solstice. This is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. It's where we really look at what we're trying to shed light on, manifest, bring alive. And it's also where we're seeing shifts in the sky with the outer planet. Jupiter's moving into Leo. And as that happens, there continues to be all of these aspects between those outer planets. Look at what that means for you in your chart. And as you come here to listen for your soul, I invite you to stop, take a breath, just relax. Before I even started, I did some smudging. I had some Palo Santo, and I just created this as a beautiful sacred space. I invite you to do the same for yourself. This is a time, no matter when you come across this, for you to listen to the messages that come from my stories, from my channels, and from the cards that you see. This is the message you came here to hear. This is why your soul team brought you to me today. So I'm going to send the camera down and we're going to talk about these beautiful cards that are coming in. I love starting with an overall set of cards, and I'm continuing with this beautiful challenge from my friend NC to use different cards. So you're going to continue to see different cards come alive. Overall, first we have from our Colette Baron Reid Hidden Realms deck. We have the Swan Queen. This is about transformation, connecting to your intuition. And if you're finding it challenging, it's about having patience in that. And for me, the beautiful summer solstice just is reminding me to lean into light, lean into gratitude, lean into what I'm holding the vibration for in my life. And that's what the Swan Queen is. It's a nod to for me. It's a nod to you are transforming, you are changing. And there's going to be some challenges in that, but there's also going to be some beauty. So when we have what ifs moving forward, what if it goes bad? If it goes good, I'm going to be leaning into the what ifs positive. The next with Old Magic from McCormick is Illuminate. And here we have, so many different, I just love this beautiful Celtic oracle that she has. The moon, the owl, so many beautiful ways. And it's illuminating to us. For me, I listen to this and it's as I take my walk, as things are happening, what is the messages? How is it illuminating for me my path forward? Yesterday, I was trying to record this session, and I had 4 different blocks in it from different reasons, whether it was a beautiful pet needing something, whether it was phone calls, whether it was family. And for me, that illuminated something very concretely. The time is not now. Do this later. Do not do this right now. It also is a way to illuminate what I'm trying to bring alive, what I'm trying to bring forward and create in my life. And what is that? There's no right, there's no wrong, but I'm going to put a spotlight on what I want to grow. So when my mind is continuing to think about if it's the negative, that's what's going to continue to grow. Or is your mind going to be focused on what you're trying to bring alive, what you're hoping happens to you? And that comes through gratitude, that comes through joy, bliss, positivity, love. And that is my new word, bliss. That is my new word that came across this new season. I'm looking for bliss and being aware of bliss in my life. The next by Tao oracle is the beautiful dispersion. And she's just sitting there, the wind just blowing and the leaves going across. And dispersion is about when I say that I'm trying to create bliss, it's about how does it disperse into every part of my life? How does it just move across and go into what I'm trying to create? And this is for me, this is where I really have to have a strong sense of discipline with my mind and my heart. Because sometimes I can really get fearful, anxious about things that are happening or things that we're planning or doing. And then I find myself, I can set a dispersion of anxiety, a ripple of anxiety flowing through my life. Oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I can feel it. Or I can have a dispersion of what if it goes well? What if everything is exactly as I planned? Or what if it doesn't happen anything like I planned and it's even better than I thought? Dispersion. Allow this positivity to disperse. And if you find yourself, like I did with my anxiety, that example, just come back to your heart with grace, love, compassion, and say, you know what? We're going to shift this and we're going to shift it. How do you shift it? This is it through a beautiful Ethany oracle deck, Awakened Oracle, and it's meditating. A beautiful mandala, and you can see this person just in the pose of meditation. And I know that. I know that if I jump on my phone, and I know that if I just get into doing, that's where the dispersion of anxiety, comparison, negativity comes in. If I start with source, if I start with the divine, the creator, and I start in prayer, I start in my own heart, I start the day in a complete different way. If I start by the smell of incense, Palo Santo, sage, and recognizing that I am one with these beautiful connections on earth and all of these, my beautiful rocks, they just bring me such joy. And I hold them and I just sit there feeling love, feeling connected to something bigger than myself. And what I love is these cards just come up and I flip them over just before I start. And this one is by Rebecca Lefebvre. I just love her artwork. And this is the Komodo dragon. It is about being powerful. And she speaks about the Komodo dragon saying, this is one of the most amazing creatures on earth and one of the most long living and unique. And it's from the Komodo dragon that we can learn how to connect with our powerfulness, how to connect with uniqueness, and how we can take this unique self and have it shine the brightest. That was another aspect that came for me in the summer solstice, is to this light of mine that's deep within my heart, to allow it to shine as only Michelle can let it shine. And this is really challenging you over the next month of July in the summer sun. Find ways to be uniquely you and enjoy that. Love that. I'm going to push these up here. I'm going to now pull some different cards. Here I have the Bone Stone Oracle by Avalon Cameron. beautiful deck. This is an indie original, just gorgeous, drawn by Anna Turin. And for this first, I'm going to do three different areas. Here is going to be the first one we're going to be pulling is what is our beautiful healing? What are we asked to heal, to release, to allow, to let go as we move into this new season, this new month? And with that is this sense of it might be challenges that we have to come up against, and just recognize that through that we can be triggered, we can be healed, and just move forward with curiosity, grace, and love. The next one is going to be over the next month. Where can we focus on for our support? How is Spirit Team giving us gifts, giving us a hand up, giving us a leg up, giving us that rope? If you're in the pool, they throw you that life-saving donut. That's going to be that. And then the last third one is going to be what is the most important? In a nutshell, Cole's Notes version, next steps from Spirit Team. What is it you need to know? So we start with our bone stone. And here we go. Our first card is the Star in reverse. And then we have the Page of Cups in reverse. And we have Page of Wands in reverse, upright. Okay, so what does this mean for us? So when we look, first of all, reversals, however you read them, many people don't have reversals. I use them as just more information for me. So I ask myself as I lean into the reading, is the energy coming in? Is the energy moving out? Or is the energy blocked? I see this for me, the energy coming in. The Star card, whether it's in reverse or not, is one of the most powerful cards filled with hope. And so it might be for you, this is where you have to lean in for yourself. Are you finding the idea of light, hope, what can come in? Bliss. I said my word was bliss. Those higher vibrational thoughts. Are you finding those hard? And if you are, this is then something you need to be curious about. And it's asking you to come into this beautiful star, this beautiful becoming. Out of here, we have a beautiful bird coming out of the chest. I see it as the eagle. And just this gorgeous becoming and the light coming in. The star is often tied to the star in heaven. I find it so hopeful, wishing upon a star. Those are thoughts that come in. And when it's in reverse, it's just asking, are we stuck? Are we stuck in an old story? Are we anchored into the past and not allowing ourselves to transform into the future? Are we staying in the dark and not illuminating what needs to heal, what needs to be released, and release it? So you might need an action to help you. Often what I'll do when I need to release something is I can write it down. I'll just have automatic writing. And that's just where I write for 5 minutes. I set the timer, I write, I let everything out, all my fears, all my anxieties, all my worries, everything. And then I take a dish, and you might want to do this outside, do it safely, and I burn it. I burn this, I release it into the universe. And I say, I release this to you. It is not mine. I cannot heal it. I cannot move past it. And you're asking your spirit team, your ancestors, the angels, saints, creator, God, universe, spirit, however you like to think of your spirit team, you're asking them to come in. And it's through that ritual, your journaling, it's through that ritual that you are connecting in to the hope that becomes deep in your heart, and you allow it to shine. So when I'm in bliss, I am shining. I am shining. And to be truthful, yesterday, part of the reason probably where everything was blocked is I was struggling emotionally yesterday. And so some days that's the way it is. And we need to recognize that about ourselves and hold grace and love and compassion and find a way to move past it. And today is a new day, and I have a complete different energy. And this is what Page of Cups is often talking about. Cups is the suit of water, it is the suit of our relationships, emotions, and intuition. And in here, Page is the beginning of the court suits. And Page, this is that being okay to step into the waters of your emotions around relationships, around summer's coming. And maybe I could just think of so many ways. Maybe summer's coming and you have beautiful holidays, and it can bring anxiety because you have to plan them, you have the kids at home, or maybe you're going to be with your family and you're worried about some of those things. And it's just recognizing that, being in the emotions, don't gaslight yourself, and then find a way to move through them. Triggers, never waste a trigger. What can you heal and release as you go through it? Because it's inviting us as we move through and allow hope and just understanding our emotions, allowing them to flow, really looking and diving into them. It gets us into the Page of Wands. Wands is the suit of fire. And this woman is on fire. She is powerful. This is where our passion, creativity comes. And it allows us to shine, illuminate, and just be our wonderful Komodo dragon, incredible, powerful selves. But you have to do this work first. You have to check. Where are you hiding your light? Where are you playing small? And allow yourself to shine. In honor of beautiful National Indigenous Day, I am going to be using some of the oracle cards. This is actually Frost Medicine Oracle. And I also have another one that I'm going to pull from John Holland. So, what is the energy of this line when we look at our healing, when we look at our releasing? It's, I'm not sure how I'm going to say it correctly, but Minnow Bemazidwin, walk in a good way, realign. How do you realign yourself? What is a way that you do that? For me, it's coming down here. It's holding rocks. It's going outside. It's putting my feet in the grass. And that's what you need to do. Lay in the grass, lay under the stars, watch the beautiful solar system in the middle, go out in the country and watch the stars and the moon and just be dazzled by nature in so many different ways. I love the flowers on my deck. I love seeing the flowers that happen at the lake. I'm going to be moving to the lake at the end of this week. And it just brings me such joy. It brings me a sense of bliss. And that's what I need to do is realign. Where am I focusing my energy? Am I illuminating the spotlight of my life, of my time, of my mind? And if you find yourself in that cycle, maybe you do need help. And we have journeyed with so many beautiful people with their mental health. And if the light of sun, if these spiritual practices for you, if you need more, I don't know why I am being asked to say this, it is also never think that you cannot get counseling and therapy that aligned with a strong spiritual practice really helps you expand and move forward. I know one book that I am reading myself and sharing with my children is called From Nicole LaPrera, and she has many different books. She's also online, the holistic psychologist. And it's about working with your inner child, reparenting yourself. And that might be a way to walk in a good way, is to recognize how you can heal and release and bring into the light a different version of yourself, a healed, a transformed version of yourself. And sometimes you can't just do it alone. And if you have a therapist and you've walked that way and you're looking for card reading, I have clarity sessions. Go to the link in my bio. I'd love to work with you. I'm bringing in John Holland's Psychic Tarot. What else in this line do we need to be aware of? Temptation. And here, when temptation, this is often the devil card. It seems scary. It seems terrifying, and it's not. It's about bringing the light here. Temptation for me is scrolling. I have extra time. It's the summer. Maybe you're on holidays. What are you going to fill your time with? And in this area of healing, in this area of moving towards the light and transformation and dispersion, the temptation might be staying in the dark, staying in your room, just staying on your phone, feeling sad, alone, and disconnected, numbing yourself. Find a way to connect to the incredible aspects that this earth gives us through the people, through the songs, through the flowers, through the trees. Go hug a tree. And it's walking in a good way means recognizing that we all have temptation. We all have what will bring us to that place. And the interesting thing about this, and we've talked about it a lot, is that our nervous system actually, if you're changing and you're transforming, your nervous system will be calling you to stay into these places where you feel comfortable, even if it's a negative, even if you've outgrown it. Transforming into this beautiful new cycle is going to be a temptation of challenge to say, no, stay still, stay with what you've been doing. And so you need to move past it. You know what to do and how to do it, and you want to move past it. I now have the Ancestral Tarot by Julia Susia Watt. This was one of my first tarot decks that I used. It has different cultures from around the world for the different suits. So the first one is the Six of Staves or Six of Wands, and that is in reverse. And just a reminder, this line is really about what is coming for us from our spirit team. What are the gifts? What's the hand up, leg up? And then we have the Tower in reverse. Interesting. And then we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay. I'm just going to move these down here for right now. Move these over so that you can see them. So the six, whenever I have all of my cards in reverse, lots of times it's getting me to recognize and take time to sit with, because it's not just one aspect that can be challenging for me. It's recognizing how these energies are moving together. So the Six of Staves is really the Six of Wands. Wands is the suit of fire. There's a lot going on in this card, but this is a chariot with horses and people align. And it looks like this would be in the time of the Egyptians. And this is the card of achievement. This is the victory march into the square. This is when all the things have happened. Everything is going on. And this is what has come to us. So as we transform, as we move in, July brings in this energy of victory, this energy that can help us move past where we've been. And you know what's interesting is that it can be disruptive. So if we're still, and we haven't moved into, if we're still stuck into temptation, it's hard to move into the victory. And that's why I see it being in reverse. I see the Tower energy shifting. And what this means is we've had some unexpected things happening over this year. I don't know about you. I've had many different Tower moments. Some of them I've been beautifully surprised at. Some of them I know are coming in the truth of the tower, that lightning strike and shifting everything in my life. But it's been so important as it's done that, because it's allowed me to shift and change into what I'm trying to become. And as you allow the tower moments to move in, come in, and release and learn from them, you move into the Nine of Cups. Cups, the suit of water, the suit of emotions. And you can see it's this beautiful party. She's dancing. Everybody has their cups full. And that's what the Nine of Cups is about, this full, beautiful life that you're allowing to come alive in your life. So what is your hand up? Victory is there. It's through tower moments. It's through letting go. And for some of us, we can get the nudge and let go. And some of us, in my life, I've hung on to what I know I needed to change with hung on just with dear life. And so then it had to be ripped from me. That's where you're going to be checking. What can you just let go of that no longer serves you? And how can you once again embrace, on both sides, there's victory around this tower moment? Letting it go. How can you allow victory to come in? Next, I have Asha Frost's Elder Spirit. So I'm looking at what is the energy that will help us understand what's happening in this line. Elder Bison, open to increased abundance. These cards are in abundance, and it's through the tower. It's through all the changes that happened. And this is really getting you to look at, how are you allowing abundance to come in to your life? How are you, when you allow and we live with our nervous system jacked to the highest, and we've been through tower moments, lots of times what happens is we have a hard time shifting into trusting and receiving abundance. And this is what this is talking about, this shifting, this illuminating and transformation, and an allowing the dispersion of bliss, the dispersion of joy, happiness, where the strong light is. And I need to look for it. I need to allow it to just flow into my life. And that's what I'm going to be doing. It's what it's asking you to do. And it's hard when we've been stuck in a situation of change and transformation. And this is Kyle Gray's Ascended Masters deck. Bridget, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. And this is the truth of it. This is inner work. It's not something that's going to come from outside of you. And I have prayed many nights, many days, saying, just shift it. Just allow everything to magically move in the direction I want. But this is an inside job. Loving ourselves is an inside job. Releasing what keeps us stuck and anchored in the past is an inside job. Allowing us to look through a heart, a mind, the eyes, looking for victory and wholeness and completeness and love in our lives is an inside job. So they're going to be helping you in so many different ways. And these are ways that you can help yourself. And now, just moving out, so I have room for my next one. And I'm going to be using this beautiful, this is Joanne Powell Codwell, and this is the Gaia Tarot. Challenge of using these beautiful cards is they're so huge. It's a little harder to fit all onto this table, but that's okay. Oh, the first one, Two of Fire. I love this one. She actually drew all of these with pencil crayon art. Isn't that incredible? She drew these cards. The next one is 10 of Fire and 5 of Earth. So this line, once again, is what our beautiful spirits teams are asking us to do. It's how what's most important, your next steps. Two of fire, fire is two of wands. Wands is about choice. Fire is about passion. And this is about choices. So it's recognizing, what are you going to do next? What is your next step? And you need to decide it, because as you illuminate, as you change, as you recognize you're powerful, as you know it's an inside job, what's your next choices? And I invite you to take a moment down and say, okay, for this month, here are some of the things I'm going to choose to do. This is what I'm going to do today. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. Next, we have the 10 of fire, which is the 10 of wands. 10 of wands often is a picture of someone carrying all of the wands. And it is a clearing. It is this moment of recognizing that this is going to be hard work at a certain point, and that it's okay. Because what happens once you finish this fire, once you finish carrying your heavy load and doing the shifting of all this hard work of transformation, you move into a place of newness, of new beginnings, of something that you can't even begin to understand. And so you do have to lean into the work. You have to lean into the clearing. You have to lean in and recognize that each choice that you do with that leaning in, is it happening to me? Are you in victim consciousness, or are you moving forward? It's happening for me. Are you moving forward with this curiosity that says, I've got this? What I'm going to illuminate and disperse is the beautiful good things that are happening in my life. And I'm going to be looking for those. And with not gaslighting, but with sacred healing, I'm going to release the anchors that keep me stuck. And this is the 5 of Pentacles. The 5 of Pentacles, here's a person. She's drawn this person inside this hutch, and they're hiding inside the forest, and they've built just a little, not hutch, they built a little lean-to for themselves. The 5 of Pentacles is often the person in front of the church. You'll see it that way. The person in front of the church where they're feeling desolate, they're feeling things aren't going well. And as we transition and as we move, and we're in these powerful creative times of July, and the astrology continues to be powerful, it's recognizing that we have the ability to help ourselves. So this person could have just laid on the grass. They are lost in the forest. If we go with the story, they're lost in the forest, and they could have just fell into exposure. Instead, they built this survival lean-to over themselves with grass and moss and trees. And it's not the best sleep you've ever had in your life, but it meant that they kept warm. It meant that they kept alive. So the 5 of Pentacles is about actively choosing what you are going to do. It is this active choice, like Bridget, this active choice of changing, this active choice of moving into the powerful, this active choice of recognizing each and every time. When I lean into this, what I'm getting from the spirit team is, Michelle, be conscious of every step. Be conscious of your thought. And if you find yourself falling into temptation, if you find yourself falling into a place that doesn't bring you where you want to go, with love, grace, and self-forgiveness, shift it. Shift it. It doesn't mean we're going to be perfect about it. It just means we're going to be shifting. So what is the energy? Here we have Rebecca Campbell. Rebecca Campbell's beautiful star seed. What is the energy that we're looking for that will help guide us on this way? Path. Water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. How are you going to do this? How do you take care of yourself? What are the ways that you feel complete, whole, and full? Nourish yourself. And knowing that self care is so different from everybody. For me, it's walking in the forest with my dog, it's feet on the ground, it's picking up rocks, it's looking at seashells. Everybody's different. And that's what's beautiful. Here I have from Australia, Mel Brown's Dreaming Oracle deck. What else is important for us? What else energy? Thankful, ungrateful. It's watching. I hate the word ungrateful. I find it grating when I have it there. And I think part of it is because I find it triggering. Yesterday, thankful came up, and ungrateful is, for me, it's bringing up this idea I've talked about in different podcasts about judgment. This idea that when you're on the spiritual path, when you're doing the inner work, this idea that be open to abundance, that what I look for is very specific. I have a judgment of good and bad. And I have an ungrateful heart for the negative things that happen to me. And I'm like, why me? Why me? Without recognizing that all of them bring me instruction. All of them bring me life experience that help me become the soul that I am meant to become, the human I am meant to become. And it's shifting that ungrateful heart to being curious and recognizing that when I'm ungrateful, I am stuck in a prison of judgment, self-judgment, because then I'm judging myself, judging others, and saying it's not enough, it's not this, I'm ungrateful. It's a very uh, rigid, constricted feeling. And so how do you move through this? Your red flag is when you start to feel ungrateful and you're moving into victim consciousness. And this is just a reminder that maybe you need to take care of yourself. Maybe you need to stop and smell the roses. Maybe you need to hold yourself tight. I think of my first time that my kids were gone during the summer with their dad during the summer, the first time I was alone during a holiday. And I did not prepare myself. I did not set myself up for success. I did not make choices. I did not build a lean-to. Instead, I stayed in pain. I stayed in heartbreak. And I'm now grateful for that because I understood so much from that helped me understand the absolute joy when my kids were with me and the joy they had being with their father. And I needed to not diminish that because I was going through that experience. I needed to not diminish someone else's feeling of joy. Let's look at some cards overall. We have Colette Baron Reed's The Uncharted Map. What messages overall do we want that can help us understand moving forward? Overall, rock bottom and in protection, it speaks about you're never alone in rock bottom. So there might be some moments in rock bottom, the tower moments. In protection, it can be the end of rock bottom. And it's the transition of moving up. From an astrological perspective, actually, July is the last big shifts until we move into what's happening in 2027. So there is some truth that can happen with this. And it's recognizing there is hope at rock bottom. And from there, you only have up. When I spoke about the time with my kids, that is rock bottom. If you're feeling rock bottom for whatever reason throughout this summer, as I said, maybe you're listening to this and you're contemplating harming yourself or hurting yourself, or maybe you know someone who is. Seek out help. You're not alone. And this I feel compelled to say that and to recognize that there is hope, there is a way forward, there that you, through this experience, have wonderful ways that you can learn. St. Teresa of Avila, she was struck with an illness, and it's through that she found such divine connection. And it's through our darkest nights of the soul that we find ourselves. We are able, through our tower moments, to really see and understand who we are and fall in love. Fall in love. But if you're not in the in love stage, network, get help, reach out. Reach out to me. I can help connect you. This is Sandra Kunstick. Know that it is done. This is such a beautiful, I think, beautiful card from rock bottom when it's in reverse, saying, know that it is done. Know that it is a finite moment. The other place is know that it is done. This is the energy that we started with. This is the energy of manifestation. When you set up a dream, when you set up the vibration of what you want to manifest in your life, you sit in the energy of knowing it is done. And you don't yet see it. You might not yet see it for months or a year, but you sit in the energy of knowing it is done. It is going to shift, it is going to change, and you do what you can every day to sit in that energy. And in the beginning, it's harder. I find it's harder. In the beginning, it was harder for me to, it's harder for me to really understand and to shift that. And so I write myself images, I write myself letters, and I continue to sit in the energy of it is done and trusting and surrendering fully into spirit and saying, yes, this is going to happen. I have no idea how. And that's the challenge. I have no idea how, but it will happen. And the last card that we have is the spirit birds, bird messages, grouse. We have so many grouse at the lake, and you can hear their wings beat. Movement, stillness, perception. And I think is that you actually don't know that a grouse is there until you hear the beat of their wings, and it's like drums. It almost sounds like there's a motor starting and you're in the middle of the forest and there's no motor, nothing starting around you. So it's so confusing. It's also about recognizing that your perception, knowing that it is done, or feeling that it is rock bottom. We create our reality with our thoughts. We create the reality with our emotions. And it's recognizing that our thoughts and controlling our thoughts and choosing which thoughts we have in our brain. A beautiful healer, Marie Manucheri, often would say, our brains are like a dog. You need to have them on a leash and you need to train them to say, nope, it's time to sit. It's time to go down. It's time to move here. Our brains are not talking about the reality that we have. And listening with your soul is about recognizing that your soul, as you transform, as you go through these evolutions, is bringing you through and into something that you're contracted into. So be curious about, isn't it interesting what is going to be happening to you? Isn't it interesting what you are becoming, this beautiful butterfly? So if you're in the chrysalis moment, the goop, the darkness, it's holding on to knowing that you are going to understand and be in this moment of a butterfly. It's happened in your life already, I know. So surrender into it and know and recognize that your perception is what's going to help you. Perception of this through curiosity and understanding and self-love. Until next time, I just want you to know that I'm sending you blessings, and this is happening for you. It is not happening to you. Thank you for being here today. If something in this episode landed for you, trust that. It found you for a reason. If today's episode moved something in you, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. That is how we find each other. You can connect with me on my website, michellewright.co, and on Instagram at michellewright.co. And if you're ready to go deeper, a free connection call is the first step. Because this is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Until next time.